As the winter holidays approached, I made the decision to embark on a journey to my hometown. It was a significant decision as it was my first solo trip, and I had little experience traveling alone. Being an introvert, I usually preferred spending time in solitude, but this trip would be a new level of seclusion. At the time, I was in my first year of graduation and had yet to make any close friends, also that no one hailed from my hometown is something to note. Despite any potential loneliness, I was excited to explore new horizons and discover a deeper sense of myself through the journey. After arriving at the railway station ahead of schedule, I found myself with a considerable amount of time to spare before my train was scheduled to depart. With my hometown situated over 1,855 kilometers, approximately 1,150 miles, away from my current location, I knew I had a long journey ahead of me. As an introvert with no friends, I was used to spending time in my own company, and I began to consider how I could make the most of my 29-hour train ride. After giving it some thought and making a few notes on paper, I settled on two main objectives for the journey ahead: listening to music and taking in the natural surroundings. I had always found music to be a soothing and comforting companion, and I was confident that it would help me to pass the time during the long journey. In addition, I was excited at the prospect of enjoying the changing scenery outside the train window, as I journeyed closer to my hometown. With these two simple but meaningful goals in mind, I stood there, with a little worry about the length of my journey and the task that I am incorporating for the solo trip. I knew that I needed something more substantial to occupy my time during the long journey ahead. Something that would be engaging and interesting for hours on end. That's when I spotted a bookstore in the corner of the station. Without hesitation, I made my way over to it, scanning the spines of the books for something that would catch my eye. It took me a good 10 minutes of browsing before I finally settled on a book, although I couldn't tell you exactly what criteria I used to make my decision. All I knew was that I needed something big, fun, and interesting to keep me occupied on the train ride home. As I gazed at the bookshelves, my eyes finally landed on a familiar name, Chetan Bhagat. Although I wasn't well versed with his works, I had heard his name being quoted by many of my friends. I remember during college induction, when I had mentioned my love for books, seniors had immediately asked me about Chetan Bhagat. Despite my fondness for reading, I had never actually picked up any book before. So, I decided to take a chance and picked up one of books from the shelf. As I flipped through the pages, I could feel the excitement building up within me for the journey ahead. As I held the book in my hands, I couldn't help but be drawn to the attractive cover. The vibrant colors and unique elements on the cover made it stand out among the other books on the shelf. Despite its bulkiness, the book felt surprisingly light in my hands, and I knew it was the one. However, before making my final decision, I couldn't resist taking a peek at some of the other books on display. There were some great options, but my gut feeling kept drawing me back to the one I was holding. So without hesitation, I made the purchase and took the book with me on my journey. The book I had chosen was 3 Mistakes of My Life, by Chetan Bhagat. Though I wasn't very familiar with the author or his work at the time, I had heard his name mentioned by many friends and acquaintances. As a lover of books, I felt it was finally time to see what all the fuss was about. Little did I know, this decision would turn out to be one of the best I ever made. It wasn't a mistake at all, but rather an opportunity to embark on a thrilling journey through the pages of a captivating story. Genre: novel. Page count: 260. My rating: 4.5 out of 5. Insights and about this book in my opinion. The book, 3 Mistakes of My Life, by Chetan Bhagat is an engrossing tale of 3 young men who are trying to navigate their way through the complexities of life. Govind, Ish, and Omi, who are in their mid-20s, are all struggling to establish themselves in society. Govind, the protagonist of the story, sets up a cricket shop for the local kids, while Ish and Omi contribute their own ideas for the business. The story is mainly focused on Govind's life, and as the plot progresses, the characters face a series of challenges that test their relationships, business acumen, personal aspirations, romantic relationships, and familial ties. The story is immersed in a pool of problems, just like a movie with twists and turns, except for the songs. Through his writing, Chetan Bhagat manages to provide readers with an insightful glimpse into the daily struggles of the average Indian youth, and how they try to come to terms with the demands and expectations of society. The book serves as an excellent commentary on the social, economic, and cultural realities of contemporary India. The book's setting in Ahmedabad, Gujarat during the tumultuous times of the 2001 earthquake and the 2002 riots provides a unique backdrop to the story. The author effectively uses these real-life incidents to create a sense of urgency and chaos in the characters' lives. The earthquake, which occurred towards the beginning of the story, sets the tone for the rest of the book, as the characters try to navigate the aftermath of the disaster. The riots, which happen towards the end of the book, create a sense of dread and danger, as the characters find themselves caught in the middle of the violence. The author's portrayal of these events is powerful and evocative, making the reader feel as if they are experiencing them firsthand. The scenes describing the destruction and devastation caused by the earthquake are vivid and haunting, while the depiction of the riots is intense and gripping. Overall, the book does an excellent job of using these real-life incidents to add depth and meaning to the story, making it a must-read for anyone interested in understanding the complexities of life in Gujarat during this time period. It sounds like the book has a lot of depth and complexity in its portrayal of various issues and events. Yes, it does have that, but along with it the book also covers characters' personal lives and relationships. The addition of new characters and elements helps to keep the story engaging and dynamic. It's always great to find a book that is able to balance both plot and character development effectively, and 3 Mistakes of My Life does just that. Style of narration. The narration style in 3 Mistakes of My Life is very approachable and easy to follow, making it accessible to readers of all levels of literary experience. Even as a first-time reader with no prior knowledge of literature, I never felt lost or out of place. The story flows smoothly, with a well-maintained structure that keeps the plot engaging without becoming too convoluted. The author's ability to convey the characters' emotions and thoughts effectively without becoming too descriptive or overwhelming is a testament to his skill as a writer. This skillful balance of plot and character development is what makes the book a compelling read. Despite my lack of familiarity with the actual incidents that inspired the story, the writing style and the way it was crafted kept me excited for the story's next turn. Best lines from The 3 Mistakes of My Life by Chetan Bhagat. Life is tough when you are always talking to people smarter than you. I think the brain has a special box where it keeps crappy memories. It stays shut, but every time a new entry has to be added, it opens and you can look at what is inside. And tell me, who will be more successful in life? The kid who knows all the chemical formulae or the one who knows teamwork, passion, discipline and focus? Admiration passes, love endures. But it will work, man. If you put your heart into it, it will. Bottom line. This book left a deep impression on me with its engaging storyline and relatable characters. The range of emotions that I experienced while reading the book was wide and varied. At times I felt sad for the characters, while at others I felt happy, tense, and stressed. The book also evoked feelings of anger towards the characters' stupidity and pride for their bravery. As I read through the first half of the book, I became more and more curious about what was going to happen next. The ending of the book did not disappoint me either, and it left me with a feeling of satisfaction. In addition to being an engaging story, 3 Mistakes of My Life also imparted valuable life lessons that the characters learned through their experiences. The author skillfully navigated the topics of life, cricket, love, family, friendship, communal violence, natural calamities, and more. The book was so engaging that I would highly recommend it to anyone looking for a good read. It is a perfect blend of storytelling and insightful commentary on various aspects of life.